Hey guys, Belarusian video is going to be delayed a little bit. For people who don't know, Belarus is a post-Soviet nation which really goes hard on the Soviet nostalgia, keeping many of the symbols around and some of the names. Then you also have the fact that it's the cheapest country in Europe, and also has been nicknamed Potato Stan because per capita they consume twice as many potatoes as even Ireland. Now, I've been wanting to go to Belarus for years, and thankfully their leader Lukashenko decided to issue a statement that to prove that Belarus was a peaceful country and good neighbours, they would allow visa-free access to all European countries and the United Kingdom until the end of 2024. So it seemed perfect, and I jumped at the opportunity. Now, flying to Belarus is a bit difficult, for reasons I won't get into, so I decided instead to fly to Poland and then get a bus over the border. Now, Belarus borders Ukraine, and because of the Ukrainian war, border security has become tightened. So on the Polish side, for example, you will find the Polish border guards are all armed with submachine guns. Like, they'll come on the bus with their guns and just check who's on the bus, which is, even in Eastern Europe, a little bit unusual, I'll be honest. And the other thing that will stand out is that there's a series of lanes, about 10 of them, normal border guard stuff, where there's 10 different lanes of cars getting passports checked, but for some reason only one of them seems to be in use. So you'll have all these cars, but only one lane is actually being used, which is another reason why I got the bus, because buses get their own dedicated lane. Upon getting on the bus driver looked at me, asked my passport, was worried that it was British, asked if I'd been to Ukraine, said no. He said good. He then asked if I'd been to Russia. I said yes and showed him the visas, and he was reassured by this. And this guy was also just like a complete stereotype of a Russian, because when we had to wait at the border checkpoint, he got out his phone and was just sitting there watching Vladimir Putin speeches to angelic music in the background. Now, going through the Polish section, that was all fine, no problems. Polish border guards all decked out in military gear with the machine guns, a bit strange, but whatever. And then we got to the Belarusian side. Now, because there's so many people trying to get through and only one lane, there's a bit of a wait, which thankfully means you can actually get off and go to the duty-free, and in the Belarusian duty-free, they have marvellous things, such as $2 vodka, which will certainly keep you entertained while you wait. But eventually we got to the passport control on the Belarusian side, and I had my passport. Belarus is visa-free, didn't need a visa. I had my medical insurance, and I had enough money to prove that I wasn't a vagrant in the country and could afford to visit Belarus, which I think is $25 a day you've got to prove you've got on hand for your stay. So, everything good. They take my documents, ask some questions, where you staying, all the normal stuff, and then say that I've got to wait because, like in Russian Federation, for example, newcomers have to go for questioning to basically smooth over that everything is legit. Which is fair enough, wartime situation, So you wait, get taken upstairs, and then these guys start asking me some questions, all normal stuff, and I handed over them my phone, and they asked me what I do for work. And one of the problems I found in Russia is the word YouTuber doesn't really seem to translate into Russian, and in Belarus they also speak Russian. So the word I used in the Russian Federation that worked was blogger. It translates, so whatever. So I explained to them what I do, and then they wanted to take a look at my channel. So, fine, load the channel, show them that. This is where things seem to go a little bit south, which is the border guards in question didn't seem to like the Polish video or the video about New Russia, which was odd. But it probably was just complicated by the fact that they didn't speak English, the videos are in English, and my Russian is limited to try and explain what's going on. But pretty quickly they made a decision, and I was then told that under Belarusian law, such and such, I can't recall the exact law, they were denying me entry to Belarus, and they do not have to give a reason. Bugger. Because that kind of makes creating a video about tourism in Belarus a bit hard. So, that was that. Then taken downstairs, everyone else left, and after a little while, it was kind of funny actually, they were chatting away, you can hear them talking to each other in the background of this border checkpoint, where they're just talking about, blogger, you're blogger. I don't know if maybe in Belarus that word means a different thing, or it's kind of funny or what, but that's how that went. And then eventually there was a discussion, and I was given my passport back with a denied stamp in it, and then taken to the border and put on a bus back to Warsaw for $40. So I got to Warsaw, and then it was 4 a.m. So at this point I'd been up for 24 hours, tried to check into 7 hotels, and discovered that Polish hotels will not let you in until the middle of the day after midnight. So I was just kind of homeless for a bit. Thankfully, a Polish friend managed to get me to their place, and I stayed the morning for a sleep there. And in the morning, I got up and emailed the Belarusian embassy in London my situation, and then I went in person to the Belarusian embassy in Warsaw. Now, the Belarusian embassy in Warsaw is a bit strange, it seems, because of politics. I'm assuming that's why it's very closed off, and what happens is that you go there, you can't go into the building, but instead there's a guy out the front in military gear who seems to ferry messages from inside and outside. So I told him my situation, he went in, and they came back out, and he gave me a number for the Belarusian border guards and told me to call this number. Okay? Good news is that if you call the Belarusian border guards, they have the most patriotic hold music I think I've ever heard. Bad news is that, well, they couldn't help me. So that was a waste. So then the next day I called up the London embassy of Belarus, and they couldn't really help me either. So after figuring out there was basically nothing I could do in Warsaw, and I should probably go home, I got a 3-hour standing train to Gdansk, got ripped off by a taxi driver, and then got ill, which is why I'm sounding a bit weird, and flew home. Definitely one of the worst trips. No, the worst trip I've done so far. So that's that. Kind of out of options there. Sort of run out of tricks to pull. So don't know what I'm going to do. The current plan is wait until 2025 and then apply for press accreditation and maybe another visa, maybe a press visa, and then go as press, which feels gross because I just want to make a tourist video. I don't really want to associate with that world. But whatever, I might try that. But I have no idea if that's going to work. It may also just get me denied, or they might not even approve it. So that's that. If anyone has a contact with the Belarusian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I mean, please do let me know. Please do get in contact. I would like to smooth this over. Because I can go to Russia and make videos there, and everything's fine. So I assumed going to Belarus, everything was going to be fine as well, but apparently not. So, bagger. Which I guess just leaves me with the fact that what's going to happen next? Well, I'll see everyone in Good Springs, I suppose, because this November there's going to be the meetup, and I'll be there with some to try and film it and go on a little adventure. So that's that. Certainly a pickle.